Testing. Hi, welcome to The Truth Be Told with myself, T Baby, here on KUAW. That's knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. If you have a business or an event that you would like sponsored here on KUAW, make sure to send us an email at KUAW985@gmail.com. We're also available 24/7 on the World Wide Web. That's www.kuaw.org. Let's see what I'm thinking. We can, if you're watching me, hi, and if you're listening to me over the air or via TuneIn, and you'd like to watch me live, make sure to tap into our or make sure to tap in our Facebook page, KUAW Radio, our YouTube channel, KUAW Radio. Make sure to like and subscribe to both of those avenues so that you are aware of the great content that we have here on KUAW. And also hit the notification button so that you are notified anytime that we go live. And then make sure we are available 24/7 on across all major social media platforms. So YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all those good things. KUAW. Make sure to like and subscribe, just to make to keep up with all the content that we have here on KUAW. Okay, so I was just sitting here looking at like, what am I going to talk about today on The Truth Be Told? But I do want to talk about this one situation that I was just seeing here. I don't know if you guys have been seeing this video going around. I think it happened in Tennessee, where a lady had got pulled over in a car. I don't think the car actually belonged to her. She didn't steal it or nothing, but I think it was someone else's car. When they ran the plates, the person whose car it was had warrants. So of course they pulled, stopped the lady, was looking around in the car and searched her and everything. I think the lady had some marijuana on her, possibly cocaine, which we don't know that at this time. And so the officer, I believe from the video that I have watched, the officer had started to, he was going to put her under arrest. The lady took off running. Like, she snatched her purse. She ran around the car, trying to ran and jumped in the car. She got tased, right? So the officer was tasing her, but as he was tasing her, she reached down and pulled a gun and started shooting the officer. So of course the officer shot back at her. Later on, that she actually died because she was able to drive off though. So I think it was maybe been like adrenaline, maybe because she was actually able to drive off. I think she died like down the street, and the car ended up like crashing into like a tree or something. And so now we're hearing all these people. And see, this has been my problem sometimes because we have like real life situations where officers are killing our people, unarmed, just like the Donnie Sanders story that I told you guys about, which I'm still looking into, still got some things going on with that because they refuse to release the name of the officer, and I just don't think that's right. But anyway, we have people that are like really, getting out here getting killed by the police and for no reason, unarmed, not resisting, not doing anything like that. And now we have this lady, it's like, and because they were saying that the officers were, they're under investigation and looking into and all this other, and, not all this other kind of stuff. But my thing of it is she shot at these officers once they had found drugs on her. She tried to run, she got tased, like you couldn't stop, and it's like if you're running, that's my whole thing that I have about how we are being taught currently about the police and the things to do when we encounter the police, and like if you get pulled over and everything like that, because a lot of it is instilling fear. So we get into these situations with police officers and, we run. It's just a lot of fear, because of everything that's put out, all the videos and everything that we see. And so she ran, but it's like if you're not doing anything wrong, you don't have anything to hide, or anything like that, it's like, why are you running? And so because when you run, it makes you look guilty. Like it makes you look guilty of something. It makes it seem like you have something to hide. And just granted, just because you ran doesn't mean that, it should be a death sentence. Trust and believe, I'm not saying that at all. However, it's just more opportunity, you know what I'm saying, for it to get shot or for something to happen. In my eyes, it's more, it's just, I just don't think it's just something that you should do. We shouldn't be trained to run. We shouldn't be trained to be fearful, because then we didn't encounter these situations. Like she lost her life and probably could have just got away with going to take it. She might have even went to jail, you know what I'm saying? But she would still be alive. I mean, you have weed and cocaine on you. A lot of innocent people have been killed and stayed around. Exactly. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that they haven't. I'm just saying in situations, my whole thing about it is the fear. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the fear, because these chances are, or these circumstances, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, I'm reading comments. I'm sorry, Abby. A lot of innocent people have been killed and stayed around. You know what I'm saying? They do have those type of things do happen. However, if you already have a heart of fear for the situation and you choose to run, or you choose to like shoot at the police, or try to drive off, or you know what I'm saying, things like that, then you are leaving yourself susceptible to it's more likely that they're going to shoot at you if you run. Even if, they shoot at you if you don't run. But if you do run, they're definitely going to shoot at you. You know what I'm saying? If you shoot at them, they're definitely going to shoot at you. So it's like, it's the fear part. If you don't have anything to if you don't have anything to like hide, like, you know, in this instance, like I said, this lady had marijuana, she had cocaine on her, you know what I'm saying? All these things or whatever, like she should never even took it out the car. If you were gonna do all the things that you were doing, like it's fine, Brother Johnson Bay. It's like she should never even took it out the car. You know what I'm saying? And now these police are under investigation for doing their job in a sense when we have cops out here that's getting away, that's not under or not going through any type of reparations or what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. They're not going through anything or they're not getting anything done over there, and when they should be, you know what I'm saying? And it was just a story that I saw, you know, that I just kind of wanted to bring to light because we were just talking about knowing your rights, like as far as the Bill of Rights go, knowing what the police are actually allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do. I know I learned some things from just this class, just listening to this previous Sunday, we were talking about this, and I learned some things just like even with filming the police, like they can't tell you a certain place to stand. They can't tell you that you can't film. Like you can film as long as you don't interfere with them doing their job. You can be anywhere on the premises as long as you don't interfere with them doing their job. Which is something new that I learned, like, because I would have never thought that, you know, if I started to film the police, that they couldn't tell me that I couldn't come a certain area. You know, I would think that, you know, they had the right to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to stay so far back or, you know what I'm saying? Something like that, which is not true if you're not interfering with them doing their job. Also, it was in Tennessee, Abby. It's been on the news here lately, so I'm sure if you kind of look it up, she was in like a Dollar General parking lot, I think, and I'm pretty sure it was in Tennessee. But they also was like, you know, it was Tennessee. So but also I didn't know about like if the police tell you to get out your car, you know, that you are supposed to like, I would like literally now, if that happened to me now after listening to this, like knowing your rights thing or whatever, it's like I didn't know that you should literally let your windows up, lock your door. You know what I'm saying? When you exit your vehicle, because then if you leave the door open or, you know, something like that, they could basically illegally search your car. And so to prevent that, you know, you let your windows up, lock your door, shut your door behind you if you exit your vehicle. You know what I'm saying? So that was something new that I had learned that I would never even to think of do. I'm sitting here telling my brothers these type of things, like this is what y'all should do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if some things happen or whatever, like this is some things that, you know, you guys should know. Like certain questions that you don't have to answer. We should know that because we tend to do a lot of things out of fear, just out of fear of the police, just thinking that we have to comply with, you know, everything that they say and or they tell us to do, or you know what I'm saying? We want to, I really feel like in our hearts and minds, we want the police to actually be doing their jobs. And we want to trust them in doing their jobs, but we can't with like just the circumstances of everything that's going on in America. It's like us as a people, we really cannot trust the police to do their job, especially when it comes to us to be fair in doing their job. It was a lot of things that they were talking about, like searching you, searching your car, pulling out the canine unit. Like if there's no probable cause for all this, like these things are literally, they cannot do these things. It's literally against, you know, the law. It's against your rights, which is lined out in the Bill of Rights. I always feel like that it's important for us to know the law instead of trying to interpret it or just listening to what people be saying, or you know what I'm saying, how we think. Like we need to really know the laws, like, you know, just as if so that we can uphold them as well. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to ourselves, especially with the times that we live in with the police and everything like that. I also think we need to start suing the police department. Like I really do. Like I think they need to start getting sued for things that, but the thing about it is if you don't know your rights, you know what I'm saying? If you don't know the rights that you have, you don't know when they're doing something they're not supposed to be doing. You don't know if they are interrogating you, or a lot of things that I this one video that we were seeing that was talking about the rights, is the things that the police officer was saying to him was inappropriate. It's like leading, like he was trying to cause him to become hostile. You know what I'm saying? We have to be able to protect ourselves against that. And not even with the police. Like, I feel like anger management is something that our people really need to go on, or really need to like really need to pay attention to, really need to incorporate into teaching our children, just conflict resolution in itself, and like basically not allowing some outside force to dictate how we respond or how we act to, you know what I'm saying, certain situations. Like, we need to see, the thing about it is we are such, we, and I say we, like our nation of people, is like we are so such an emotional people. We really move off of emotion, you know what I'm saying? A lot. And I feel like our oppressors know this about us. They feed off of our emotions. They feed off of, that's why television and everything like that, like all these type of things or whatever, it feeds off of us being emotional creatures. They want us to react emotionally. And until we understand that we control our emotions and our emotions don't control us, then we will be in a better position once we understand that, once we are able to actually have it that way around, you know what I'm saying? Even in conversations, like people always are quick to judge and say that, oh, I'm sorry, I got some comments here, I'm sorry y'all, let me read them real fast and then I'm gonna get back to that thought. The police stem from slave patrols, I believe, so no they can't, wow, or wholeheartedly be trusted. They do stem from slave patrol. We definitely know like the stars and everything like that. The thing, you know, yeah, it's definitely stems from slave patrol. However, we have to be able to move up into the times. Like, the police department's not going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I honestly feel like the police department is needed. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like, and no, we don't have slaves no more, but we do still have criminals. You know what I'm saying? We do still have people out here robbing. We do still have people out here stealing, raping. Like, we have criminals. You know what I'm saying? So we live in this world where we do need them. The difference is we as the people need to realize that they work for us, and we need to start upholding them to their oath. Their oath is to protect us and serve the people, and we are included in those people. So we need to be able to enforce this oath that they take. You know, I feel like we need to be more hands-on on holding the police, our government, everything accountable for the actions that they do, you know. And I feel like it's fear that keeps us from doing that. You know, it's programming. You know, the system doesn't work. The system never gonna work. There's no point of trying. It's like we done told ourselves that so many times that we don't even try. We don't even try to get justice. How we'd rather march in the street instead of going through the proper channels of making sure the right action, or making sure that justice gets served. You know what I'm saying? And we need to hold our own selves accountable as well. We have to hold ourselves accountable for our actions. You know what I'm saying? Like, the thing about it is in every situation, there is some type of accountability on both parts. And so we need to learn how to hold ourselves accountable for the part that we play in the things that are going on, or that our people play, you know what I'm saying, in the things that are going on. A lot of people might not want to hear that. They might not even agree with it. However, you have to understand, when just like this lady decided to pull a gun, you know what I'm saying, and shoot at a police officer. Like, we have to be held accountable for the things that we do. Like I said, we're emotional, right? So you get into these situations, you want to cuss out the police, you want to yell, you want to, you know what I'm saying? Like all these type of things or whatever, because you're moving off of emotion, you're making the situation hostile. When the situation didn't even have to be hostile. We elevate these situations more than they should because of our emotions, you know what I'm saying? Because of the fear that we have, really, you know, and I can't let go of the fear, because to me, it's all fear. Like all these entities, all these things that they do, I feel it dwells off of the fear that is within us. So once we release that fear, once we learn how to control our emotions, we'll find ourselves in better circumstances. You know what I'm saying? And granted, I don't even want to get into that. I'm not gonna get into that. But I forgot where I was actually going before I had went back and read the comments. But I was saying, it's like, oh, so even in conversations that we have, right? It's so quick for a conversation, or just a conversation between two people who may have different opinions on a subject, to be deemed an argument, right? Because I tell people all the time, I don't argue. You know what I'm saying? How do you go about holding police accountable? Well, like I said, going through the proper channels. Like right now, the Kansas City Police Department, I'm in Kansas City, Missouri. There was a guy that was shot 5 times for a routine traffic stop, right? And he, you know what I'm saying? And it was announced 2 weeks ago, Monday, by the district attorney, that there was insignificant evidence to press charges against this police officer. They wasn't gonna release the police officer's name or anything like that. So now it's time that we to start emailing the mayor, to start emailing or getting meetings with the police chief, the district attorney. Like there are channels. When it said there are ways, that's why I say it's important to know the law. Because there are ways to hold these entities, even the government, accountable for the things that they do, if you know the proper channels or the proper way to go about it. And you're not fearful to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, a lot of people just say, oh, the system doesn't work, or it doesn't work for us. It wasn't meant for us. So they don't even try. You know, it's like, there's no point of trying, because nothing's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? People say that all the time. So to me, it's just putting in the effort, really believing that you have the power to do it. Belief is first. You have to believe in yourself, you know what I'm saying, that you actually have the power to do this, you know what I'm saying? And then you just take the necessary steps, do what you got to do, don't give up, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of things, we get turned away. It's like one door closes and we're just done. You know what I'm saying? We ain't looking for a window. We're not looking for another door. Like, we're just done. Like, oh, it's not going to work, you know? And that's in many different things in life. That's not even just with the police or when things go wrong against us or anything like that. Like, that's just in life. Like, we so easily give up on things, and it's like, because we, in our mind, it's self-doubt. It's programmed self-doubt at that. Like, it's self-doubt, it's fear. You know, these are the type of things that we have to release in order to make actual change in the situations that we feel need to be changed, to make actual progress in the areas that we know there needs to be progression. We have to release the fear. We have to release the self-doubt, because with these things in us, in our mind, those are the things that we are going to create. Those are the situations. When you understand that your thoughts are things, right? And y'all hear me say it all the time. When you understand that your thoughts are things, you would change the way you think. And if you don't, you just foolish. But you know what I'm saying? But if you do, there are certain thoughts that would not go in your mind. There are certain thoughts that you would immediately, that you will immediately create or make a speedy reparation, behind certain thoughts and things like that. But again, that was good enough a comment. So I was just talking about like understanding and controlling your emotions. So we have these conversations with people, and we always deem these conversation arguments. The moment someone disagrees with you, you want to say, oh, they're arguing, or it's an argument, or you know what I'm saying, something like that. And we have to understand that not everything is an argument. To me, argument requires the emotion of anger, and so but that's just me. However, we have to learn how to have conversations, because there are going to be differences of opinions between people. We don't all have the same mind. We don't all think the same. We don't all have the same experiences that filter the way that our mind thinks. We don't all have these same type of things. Like, we're not robots, so we're not thinking the same. We're not moving the same all the time. So we got to understand that we can have conversations with someone with difference of opinions without it being an argument. Now, the thing about that, with that is that people, they don't want to, it's listening. It's our listening skills. You know what I'm saying? Because people, they listen to respond, or to how am I trying to say this? So they're listening and they're reacting instead of responding. You know what I'm saying? They're reacting to the emotion that they feel, that the words that someone is giving off, how it makes them feel. So most of the time it's like you get defensive. If someone happens to not agree with certain things that you are saying, or you know what I'm saying, that you say, it's like you get defensive about it, and instead of responding to what that person is saying, or having an intellectual conversation, or just a conversation period, you know what I'm saying, it turns into an argument because of the emotion that we put into it. You feel defensive, so you respond defensively. You react, not respond, you react defensively. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody says something, it doesn't really sit right with you, so you react angrily. Is that a word? Okay. I know I be making a word. So, but you respond, with anger, or just emotion, right? And I just feel like, as people, we let our emotions control us instead of controlling our emotions. For some reason, it's backwards. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you got to think about a lot of different things that take place. So, for instance, I was thinking about this because I was in a Clubhouse group, and they were talking about, it was motivation. It was supposed to be motivation. However, they were talking about, if you could go back in time, what would you change? What would you do differently? And to me, regret is not motivation. You know what I'm saying? It's just not. Um, we tend to live in the past. Like, if I would have did this differently, this would have happened. Or if I wouldn't have did this, or if I would have did this, then it would have created this series of events, instead of trusting that what the path that we're on and the things that occur are what is supposed to occur, no matter whether you agree with it or you don't. See, me personally, I don't have any regrets in things that I did in a while, because if I changed something that I did in the past, I don't know how that would affect the person that I am today. And I'm in love with the person that I am today. So I don't have anything in my mind that I can pinpoint that I say, oh, I would change this, or I would do this differently. You know what I'm saying? Like, or it's like, because, you never know. You cannot live in the past. There's a quote, and I believe it is Buddha. I believe it was Buddha. And it's like, if you're depressed, you're living in the past. If you're at peace, you're living in the present. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. So to be at peace means to be living in the present moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to think about what is occurring in your life today. I'm real big on the serenity prayer, knowing the difference between the things that I can change and the things that I cannot change personally. You know what I'm saying? Self-aware of the things that I can change and the things that I cannot change. And I'm blessed and grateful for the wisdom to know the difference. You know what I'm saying? Like, the serenity prayer is great. If you ever find yourself in a mood of like depression or anxiety, or, you know what I'm saying, any of those type of things or whatever, I strongly recommend, having a serenity prayer somewhere handy, like on your phone, if not in your memory, on your phone, just somewhere where you can reach it and actually read it to yourself. Google it real quick, and just read it to yourself and take it, because it will really put life in perspective for you. And And so like the Buddha quote, right? So it's like if you're depressed, you're living in yesterday. So if I sit in here and think about what could I have did different yesterday, you know what I'm saying? I will find myself in a depression because honestly, I cannot change yesterday. I cannot change the things that I did yesterday. I can't go back in time. I cannot, there's nothing that we can do about the things that occurred yesterday. So when you find yourself in that state of mind, you know what I'm saying? Just you have to find ways, no matter what it is, it might be different to everyone. But you got to find ways to raise your vibration. You got to find ways to bring your mind, to bring yourself back to the present moment. You know what I'm saying? So it's like not what I could have done yesterday, but what can I do better today? What can I do better right now? If there's things that I can think about that I did yesterday that puts me in a depressed state or puts me at, on a frequency of depression, then how can I do those things better today? What can I do better today that's going to affect my tomorrow? You know what I'm saying? That's not going to make so that I'm not sitting around feeling depressed about tomorrow about what I did today. Focus on those things. If you're so busy thinking about the things that you could have did yesterday or the day before that or last week or last month, last year, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. If you're sitting there focusing on the things, you're not focusing on what you're doing right now. You know what I'm saying? You're not focused on what you're doing in the present. You're not even in the present moment. You're actually letting the present moment pass you by because you're spending the present moment on thinking about yesterday. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, Brad, the serenity prayer. And then it's like anxious. So the Buddha quote says anxious, so if you're living in the future, then you have a lot of anxiety, you know what I'm saying? So it's like we cannot and I'm trying to word this right because you actually can control what happens tomorrow because it's all about what you do today. You know what I'm saying? The things that you do today are going to be a direct reflection of how your tomorrow is going to go, right? So, but we cannot be anxious about the things that are going to happen in the future. We can't really dwell on the things that are going to happen in the future because it's not here yet. You know what I'm saying? It's not here yet. So you definitely still have to have an idea or a grasp of what's going on in your present moment. So yeah. Oh, what time is it? So I can make sure I stay on top of my break. Oh, it's 6:30 now. Thanks, now just playing. So it's 6:30. I have to take a brief break. And I will be right back.
All right, you're listening to KUAW Radio.
Okay. But I got to mute, right? Okay. Oh no, it heard me say I got to mute, right?
2, don't miss the Cheryl Underwood Show.
Where you at, baby?
Sure, I'm at my first alma mater, Clark Atlanta University in Atlanta, Georgia. CAU was the first HBCU in the southern United States. Shout out to our affiliate ATL Talks in Atlanta, Georgia, and everyone getting out there to vote for those 2 Senate seats. We love you.
That's what I'm talking.
You are listening to KUAW Radio, home of the all-new Jamal Bakes Show, and I'm Jamal Bakes, and thank you so very much for listening to the station bringing you talk, news, entertainment that you won't get anywhere else. KUAWN, of and about our community.
This is the last weekend before Christmas, and on Blue Simon in the City, we're wrapping up our All Christmas Blues and Southern Soul program.
Gene Bailey.
We have a very special guest that you will definitely enjoy, and we'll hear from some of the artists that sing the Christmas blues. Join me, Gene Bailey, for Blue Simon in the City this weekend before Christmas, right here
This is comedian Janelle Banks, and you are listening to KUAW, Kansas City.
KUAW listeners, this is Carl Boyd for Wave Your Grades, coming to you every Saturday from 1 until 2 p.m. right here on KUAW. This program features American students striving for excellence in honor of our troops and American veterans, encouraging American students. Please join us every Saturday from 1 until 2 p.m. right here on KUAW.
Now on the air in Kansas City, the Cheryl Underwood Show.
We are proud to be part of the KUAW family.
The Cheryl Underwood Show. Weekdays Monday through Friday at 12 noon. KUAW around the world on KUAW.org.
I'm on. Oh, okay. Hey, y'all. I'm sorry. And we are back. I appreciate you guys letting us take a brief moment to get let our sponsorships get out the way. Again, if you have an event or business that you would like sponsored here on KUAW, make sure to send us the email at KUAW985@gmail.com. We do check our email. We are Kansas City's global community radio station. So wherever you are, you can broadcast on KUAW, but help us support you. So make sure that y'all shoot us an email and let us know about the things that you guys have going on, so that we can let our global community know about the things that you have going on. So yes, okay. So I had a whole second half of this show in my mind, right? I knew what I was going to talk about on the second half of this show. But then it just came to me, and the spirit spoke to me, and it's St. Patrick's Day, huh? So I need to talk about St. Patrick's Day. And I sometimes I be thinking, just as far as my audience, I know like the people that have been with me this entire time of the Truth Been Told. Like the Truth Been Told 4-year anniversary. Is it 4 or 3 year? 3 or 4 year anniversary. I'm gonna figure out which one it is, coming up here in April. So if I'm sure over time after time, you guys have heard this every time the holidays come around. However, I have to stay true to myself. This is the truth be told. I've always wanted to inform our people of the truths that they may have not been exposed to in their lives, just due to a lot of things that we've been through, just the education process of our people, everything like that. Yes, tomorrow. So I'm sorry, I'm sitting in talk. So I have self-doubt in myself, like they don't want to keep hearing about this, or they you always talk about this, or every time this holiday come around it's like a broken record in a sense. But then at the same time, there could be new audience, someone that may not have been tuned into that specific show, someone new that's audiences grow all the time. So it may just be, something new. And the thing about it is even if you've heard it before, maybe it's just a reminder, what I'm saying, of a reminder of something that, could be in the back of your brain. Like, yeah, you heard it before, but you didn't really take note to it, or you didn't take heed to it. Or maybe it could be getting refreshed in your mind so that you can share the knowledge with someone else. However it may come about, I just definitely want to stay true to what it is of why I actually started the Truth Be Told. So with that being said, St. Patrick's Day is tomorrow. Now, it's crazy because, my favorite color is green. Okay, like not because of money or anything like that, but like my favorite color is green. And so I never hesitate at the opportunity to wear green. I have plenty of green in my closet, like a lot, St. Patrick's Day is the only day that I will not wear green. I purposely do not wear green. Like when you see me walking down the street, you're gonna know that I don't participate in these type of things. If you try to pinch me, you're gonna get a whole history lesson on why you not gonna touch me, like all type of things like that, just because of what St. Patrick's Day represents, right? So let's break it down. One is for the Irish. let's say that. I don't even know how the United States, you know what? And I should Google it. I'm gonna Google it real fast, just to see when did the United States even start observing St. Patrick's Day. Of like when it came over into hold on, I gotta spell it right. So let me just see if I can find it real fast, just to see, like, when it was even first observed in the United States as like a holiday or anniversary. So what St. Patrick's Day actually is, like, why it's on March 17th. Let's go there. So, or St. Patrick, right? So St. Patrick was St. Patrick was a saint, and I believe it's Catholic. It's some type of Christian sector. I believe it's Catholic, and they say it was an observation of St. Patrick. St. Patrick was someone to be observed because of the quote unquote snakes he had drove out of Ireland. But here's the thing, like and this is why I say that we got to do history. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to know history over these type of things or whatever. Because one, Ireland is too cold for snakes to even inhabit. You know what I'm saying? Like, excuse me. Oh, I need a little water. I didn't start it. Ooh. Sorry. But yeah, it's actually too cold in Ireland for snakes to inhabit. And so just the idea of the story of driving the snakes out of Ireland is bizarre itself. You know what I'm saying? So then you have to think about like the real story behind it, or you have to try to start doing research behind, the real story about what this made up story, represents. So yeah. And that's something that you can look up, that it was, covered in ice. Is too cold for reptiles. Snakes are reptiles, So, and then, you got what else is considered with okay. So what St. Patrick really did, right? So there was a group of the original inhabitants of Ireland were actually an African group of people, African descent group of people called the KUAW. That's TWA. If you guys want to look that up, the KUAW people, they were Islamic. They didn't go along with, the incoming people, they were at this time, it was like they were trying to bring Catholicism, I believe that's how you say that. That's the word I want to use instead of Christianity, so I want to use Catholicism, which is the Catholic, sector of it. So they were there, and so they refused. They didn't want to convert. They didn't want to convert to, the new religion. They wanted their own ways. They wanted to stick with their own traditions and the things that they had been doing for thousands of years before these people were, coming in, into their area, trying to tell them what they can and cannot do. They were completely murdered out of Ireland. The whole nation wiped. This was led by St. Patrick, right? This is the real story behind the snakes, right? That were driven out of Ireland. They weren't driven, they were killed, they were murdered. Kind of something like Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? Kind of similar to Thanksgiving, right? So when we when we celebrate these things and just go along with these things without actually knowing the history about what these things represent or what is actually being celebrated or what is the person, whatever, because this wasn't the exact day or, I'm saying, nothing like this. St. Patrick actually died on March 17th. That's why they use March 17th as the day of observation for St. Patrick. Because that's the day of his death. So it was like, that's the day they decide to observe it. But it's like when we just dwell into these things and we don't know what it is that we're actually celebrating. A lot of people say, oh, it doesn't matter, or you know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any difference. But how so? I really believe that truth should be the standard for all. So all things that we do, all things that we in a sense worship, all things that we celebrate, like it should all be bound in truth. And so when you are not concerned with the truth of the matter, then it's like you're just being a puppet or a sheep, as I call. It's like you're just being a sheep going along with these type of things, just going along with the flow. And it's like I can tell you anything, and you're just gonna go along with it, and it's like those was like the slaves that were forced to get on the ships. They volunteered to get on the ships. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how they acting in these days when you just go along with all these things that are basically a whole representation of a demise of your own people. And you can look up now, the crazy thing about it is so once these truths get out, now you always got to double check your sources, because now you have sources on the internet that claims that this is not true. However, if you go to history.com, if you read encyclopedias, like any day, you can literally look up the KUAW people of Ireland and it will tell you they were driven or like a Holocaust really, but murdered, completely wiped out, led by St. Patrick. You know what I'm saying? Like these are the things that have been written in history that they try to rewrite once we start to learn the truth about the things that are going on. I don't know why the color green is actually associated with it. So the leprechaun, right? Oh, my computer's about to die. The leprechaun. So the KUAW people were really small people. They were really small in like size and like height and everything like that. So when you say like that leprechaun, the way the leprechaun looks like, he's European with a red beard now because they try to make him look Irish. But the ideal of the leprechaun came from this group of KUAW people because they were so small. Even as, full grown adults, they were just so, like dwarfs in a sense. Very strong features, just small, right? So that, that's where the ideal of the leprechaun came from. I don't actually know why the color green, how the color green came into play with, St. Patrick's Day. That's one thing that, I have to really look up into. So we'll go over that, probably next year when we talk about the same thing. But the importance of what it needs to know is the murders that was behind the things that we celebrate. So we go to these parades, or we celebrate in these parades. We drink green beer. We wear green. You know what I'm saying? We wear shirts that say "Kiss me, I'm Irish," and you're not even Irish. But we wear all these things and we participate in all these things. I remember being younger, and I'm not exempt from any of this because I remember being younger. I remember just like my senior year, especially in high school, I remember skipping school to go to the St. Patrick's Day parade. Like the St. Patrick's Day parade was lit every year in Kansas City. You know what I'm saying? Downtown. It's big. Westport bar crowds. Everybody got green beer and beads and, just having a good old time. But just think about the things that represent. It's like partying. I mean, the way that it's celebrated. Like we even see the things about it to me. It's like we even got to look into the things. We got to look into the way things are even celebrated, right? Like drinking beer and being all crazy. I rant in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like the things that these people are doing. Like, yeah, it's just like it's a lot. It's a lot. So it's okay. So it does say it's the commemoration of the arrival of Christianity in Ireland. So they actually do say that in this thing that I'm looking on. But like I said, the thing about it is like they had to murder all the people that was there that wouldn't convert to even get it in Ireland. You know what? And I'm just gonna say this, and I'm sorry to anyone that I offend, you know what I'm saying? But the stories about how Christianity got into certain areas in the world are just crazy to me. It's always a war, it's always a massacre, it's always killing going on, like it's always just evilness, like just pure evilness. Like I just don't even it's crazy. But it's like they wanted this to be the main religion of the world so bad. You know what I'm saying? They wiped out entire nations of people, like these KUAW people that I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Just because they didn't want to go along with what the new norm was. Kind of reminds you of today with the COVID. You know what I'm saying? Like we have this new norm and people are crucifying you, or if you don't want to go along with it, you don't want to wear a mask, you don't want to get vaccinated. You know what I'm saying? Like all these type of things. It's like, if you don't want to go along with it, it's like, how did we get into this space where if I don't want to go along with something that you say is right, that somehow I'm wrong to the point of death? Somehow I'm wrong to the point of where, you know what I'm saying, you can say whatever you want to say to me, speak to me however you want to, possibly kill me, harm me, just because I don't necessarily agree with what you agree with. How that thinking, we have to start thinking about how that thinking even get into the world, into our mentality of how, you know, that we are such, I don't want to use the word victims, but it is a victim of so much bad programming, that it's like so out of our nature. You know what I'm saying? It's so out of our nature. It goes against our nature of who we actually are as a people, and the things that we actually do, you know, and how we communicate with each other, and you know what I'm saying, things like that. So we have to take more consideration to that. We have to get ourselves kind of just bringing it full circle back to what we were talking about not being emotional people and reacting off of emotion. Not reacting off of emotion, not being emotional responders, and being more logical in our responses and what it is that we do. We need to be more logical in the activities and things that we do, the things that we participate, the things that we teach our children. We can't continue to spread these generations of lies and these generations of programming. We have to reprogram. You know, we have to, if we're going to find ourselves in better conditions and better circumstances, you know, we have to reprogram our minds. We have to reprogram these things that we have been programmed to think that were right, in a sense, you know. And then, it reminds me of this meme that I see all the time where it says, for some reason, we've been conditioned to think that legal means right? But then he says slavery was legal, right? It doesn't mean slavery was right. Ethically, is that how you say it? Ethically, yes. So ethically, you know, was it right? You know, even though sometimes, you know, to me also right and wrong is a matter of perception. Depends on who you're talking to. You know what I'm saying? They tell you that you know right and wrong in your heart, but I tell that to the heart of a serial killer. You know what I'm saying? Like I just feel like right and wrong is a matter of perception. So it's really all how you think about it, because like even slavery is like, if we just take slavery as an example, you know, being on the other side of slavery was wrong. You enslaved our people, you made us work for free, you built wealth off of us, you know, you whipped us, you forced us to do this or whatever. But on the other side, to the slave master who was just building wealth for his family, or you know what I'm saying, whatever, it was nothing wrong with it. You know, it was right from the way that he was looking at it. So it was just a matter of perception. We have to get out of that. You know what I'm saying? We have to get out of just wanting to be right or wrong. We need to come into the understanding that everyone only understands or perceives from their level of understanding, you know, wherever their mind is at that time. So we can't really be reacting off of these type of things just because what you think is right or what I think is right, you think is wrong. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that we have the right to go at each other, or that we have the right to kill each other, or that we have the right to cause harm to each other. Why we really should just go our separate ways. You know what I'm saying? Okay, you think that's right, I think it's wrong. Boom. Let's just go our separate ways. We don't have to come to an understanding. No, there does not always have to be a winner. It doesn't. And I'm not going to tell you that it's wrong if you want to wear green tomorrow, if you want to go bar crawl or pub crawl and drink green beer at every bar that you go to and everything like that. If that's what you choose to do, then that's what you choose to do. You know what I'm saying? My objective is just to present the truth, present the facts. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, they can tell you that it means whatever, but we have to look at facts. Facts do not change. Truth does not change. No matter what your opinion of it is, no matter how you feel about it, whether you agree with it or whether you don't agree with it, it doesn't change. It's the facts of the facts of a situation is just that, the facts of it. Now, you cannot agree with it, you cannot like the facts, but it doesn't change that the facts that they're the facts. You know what I'm saying? I don't even put that on the shirt. But it's like, it doesn't change that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no matter how many times you state your opinion, it's not going to make it true. It's not going to make it a fact. So it's like, you can be in denial of the facts of situations if you want to, but that's on you. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, people only receive to their level of understanding. You might haven't got there yet. Your understanding may still need to grow, it may still need to develop, it may still need to, you know what I'm saying, just elevate a little bit more. Hopefully something that someone says, may find its way into what it is that you believe in sometimes, or something down the line that you see or that you read can help you change your perception on things or whatever. However, the facts of the matter always are what they are. The facts of St. Patrick's Day, it was the massacre of your own people. So keep it to mind tomorrow when you dress in green, or you go get your green beer, or you put on your shirt, say, "Kiss me, I'm Irish," and you ain't a lick of Irish in you. You know what I'm saying? Just keep in mind, it's a massacre of your own people. And that's the facts of St. Patrick's Day. So just real quick, Holy Covenant Asiatic Nation. You are the children of one Father, provided for by his care. The breast of one mother has given ye suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in our Father's house. When you separate in the world, remember the relation that bondeth you to love and unity. Prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother's in adversity, assist him. If thy sister's in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy Father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. Peace.